episode 2 of Twin Flames 2.0. Thank you so much for joining me here. It's a little bit of a cloudy / overcast, sprinkly rain day today, but don't worry about, watch the light that's coming in if you're watching the video. Don't worry so much about having to see me. That's not as important. I'm going to shift this. As the messages and what else is being delivered as part of this transmission. So if you're new here, welcome to this Twin Flames series. If this is where you're starting, do what resonates with you the most, but I do invite you to go back and watch the very first transmission in this series, What is a Twin Flame? Before you maybe dive into this this next one, which we're going to be talking about, the Twin Flame Soul Signature. We're going to be doing some exercises to scan the energy of what a twin flame connection feels like energetically. We're going to be going into a little bit of what the waves, the different waves of the twin flame journey are. These episodes are meant to be jam-packed with good old channeled information from spirit for you, no matter where you are at on your twin flame journey, on your path. Not too long of an episode, so I'm trying to keep them about 30-35 minutes so that you can digest the information. All of this that we're doing here as part of this series is also being channeled into a workbook. So if you want to read the channelings and dive more into them, then the channeled things that we read in these shows are in my blog. And the links to everything I talk about are in the show notes, no matter where you partake of this knowledge, this information. So I want to thank my YouTube family. I want to thank the podcast family, no matter what podcast provider you're on. Spotify. If you are on Spotify, I'm able to create a Twin Flames 2.0 playlist for you that you can go in and partake of all that juicy goodness, and you don't have to kind of hunt and peck for those episodes. And for those of you flames listening outside of the 3D physical realm, we do honor your presence here as well, no matter what astral realm, parallel reality, or alternate dimension you may be partaking of this information on. All are welcome here at TLC for the Soul. So these shows are meant to be a little bit more casual. They can be interactive because I'm connecting with you all, the collective that's partaking of this information. But grab yourself something to drink. I'm going to light a candle here. I did also want to mention in the first show, we talked about the teaching decks that we're using for this series. If you want to, purchase those, that you can draw cards along with us as you're listening to the show. The Psychic Tarot for the Heart by John Holland is the tarot teaching deck that we'll be using for this entire series, along with my newest deck, because I also, if you're not familiar with me, I write books about the Light Work Bringers of the Light book series, many other book series, fiction and nonfiction. I also create and design many oracle decks. I think Forest of the Wolf is, I don't even know now, my 10th deck, I believe. And this is one of the oracle decks that we will be using throughout this series as well. This deck will be up for sale shortly. All my decks are available exclusively right now through the Game Crafter. And so I need to put this one out there. And I do have an extra one of these decks that I will be doing a little giveaway for. I just need to work out the details on how I'm going to do that. So before we go any further, we always have throat chakra clearing that we need to do as part of this series, which is fine. It makes sense. But you'll hear me clearing my throat a lot. I want to wrap us all in love light and light love and invite in the spirit guides who overlight this work at TLC for the Soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, And our twin flame guides, Archangel Chamuel, twin flame dragons, Prinka and Theo. These are Pacific Rim twin flame dragons. Commander Ashtar is coming in for this episode. I know that there is some new starseed missions kicking off here. This is very timeless, these shows, but if you're listening to them or watching them when they drop, right around this time that they're being recorded, which is mid-May 2023. Sorry. We're going to bring in some light language in a minute to work on the chakras. But from May 23rd, 2023 to the solstice in the summer in June, twin flames, and so starseed twin flames, let's put it that way, are kicking off new soul missions. So we will briefly go into that, but I did just do a whole show on new starseed soul missions. If you're in the podcast, it's the show right before this one. On YouTube, I have my sister channel, TLC for the Soul. So you're watching this on Loveland Tarot. I have a sister channel, TLC for the Soul, where we do lots of more deeply advanced spiritual stuff. I don't know, whatever. But that show is over there. Oh my God, we got to do the throat chakra clearing. Hold on. We're going to start out with let's light a candle and let's start out with clearing the energy. There's so much that needs to be said about this journey. And I think it just all So let's just take a minute to set the intention for this episode. Gazing into the flame. What do you want to understand about twin flame soul signatures? The energy of your twin, because if you caught our very first show, everyone has a twin flame, whether you're aware of their presence or not. That's bringing up a lot of, I feel this congestion like all the way down into the heart, so the heart and the throat connection. So let's just take a deep breath. Invite in your guides, because with any of the work that we do here, we never say, just trust everything that we say and go with it. It's, you have to take what resonates with you on your journey. And if it doesn't resonate, then it's meant for somebody else, and you can just pass that along, pass that by. You don't have to accept everything we say. Experiment, which is what we're going to be doing today, experimenting with the what we talked about in the first episode. So let's do a little light language clearing. I feel many of you here are star seeds. You're kicking off the next leg of your journey. You're in a little bit, if no matter where you're listening to this at, you might be in a little bit of a holding pattern right now, a little bit of a sacred pause before things really start to ignite. Coming up in a couple of weeks from now, you're going to feel a shift in the energy, and you're going to feel yourself propelled onto whatever this new path is for you. All right, light language coming through. This is Pleiadian light language, just to kind of clear the energy. And it doesn't have to be so serious. I mean, it is a serious, sacred journey, but we want to try to lighten it up too, and let's have some fun with it. It can be challenging, difficult work, this path. And so as much levity and fun as we can bring into it, we're going to attempt to do that as well. So let's start with, we've got many, friends coming in to support this here, so we'll see if we do the dolphin light language. We have dolphins coming in now too. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the light language. There's nothing really you have to do. If it freaks you out or feels weird to you, you don't have to accept it. You can just sit in the vibe. At the same time, I'll be sending quantum energy healing that includes the Aloha Spirit as I embody the new Lemurian light codes and the sacred power of the Hawaiian Islands. Okay, so they always make me laugh, but if I can sit here and do this, come on, you guys. So last time I did this was on an Instagram live, and we said embody the shapeshift. Dolphins are very welcoming for like shape shifting. Oh, I haven't worked with these guys in a while. Hold on, where are they? All right, Spirit. So help me stay on track with this show. But if you are familiar with my work or you've watched me for a while, you'll hear me talk about my list of spirit guides, all the ones that came to me through the spirit guide auctions at Dolphin Wings. But I have, if you want to work with them, because some people do like to take their work a little bit deeper, and these friends are coming up and offering their presence. So these are Killing Cove dolphins, like the ones that the Japanese like slaughter. So this is actually dolphin spirits. These warm and loving spirits were rescued from the Killing Cove in Japan during their seasonal slaughter. During this time, this is the person that actually brought these guides in for me, for us, the people that were part of the auction, but this is her descriptions. During this time, she would go to the Killing Cove and work with the spirits. Many chose to cross over, but some decided to work with humans as they feel that they have a lot to help us with and they have great love for us despite what we have done to them. There is often more than one dolphin who chooses to go home with their new companion. So in this case, I got two, so I'm going to assume they're twin flame dolphins. Because we have twin flame dragons. The twin flame dolphins are Adila and Benoy. That's their names. And if you want to work with them, we also have a twin flame wolf shifters pair that work with us on the show as well, Ataka and Ina. You're welcome to connect with any of them if you so desire. They're offering up their energy because we said with dolphin light language that we were going to like shapeshift into a dolphin, and dolphins are very welcoming. Like you can just slide right into their consciousness. But if you wouldn't know like which one to choose, you can always call on Adila or Benoy and you can shapeshift. They'll just readily accept you to kind of morph with them and go play in the astral waters wherever you want to go hang out with them. And they're really, really fun to connect with because we could sit here all day and do dolphin light language because they're all about fun and play and right jumping and hanging out in the water. But it's like I got some work to do too, so we kind of have to balance right all of that. All right. So we have a host of friends joining us. Hopefully your energy is a little bit more light and airy. We're going to read the channeling right now about what this show is all about. Where is it? All right. So we're going to read this. I think we read it as part of the first episode, but I want to recap it a little bit. It's very short. This is the soul signature of the twin flame. Then you and I together, this is interactive, are going to do a little exercise to scan the energy of what a twin flame connection feels like energetically, because part of this series too, kind of our buzz word branding or whatever for this series is knowledge is power, because there's so much information in the guides. The more we get into the channelings, the guides reiterate a lot of that in there. Like there's so much information. There's information that can lead you down some paths that maybe you don't want to go down about the twin flame journey. It's just all like finding what resonates with you. But the knowledge is power thing is there's so many labels put on different types of relationships. And the body of work here goes into what the different types of them are so that you can understand them. But there's no reason to be confused or wondering, like, is this my twin flame? Is this something else? Is this some other type of, karmics and soul things and catalysts and all that? Like there's so many buzzwords out there. We're going to make it really simple for you that you'll be able to scan the energy of different types of relationships and know exactly what type of relationship that is based on where the relationship is connected to you in terms of like what chakra is the main chakra driving that soul connection. So there's no reason to be confused or be sitting there wondering. All right. So this is chapter 2, the soul signature of the twin flame. If you want to pause me and go to the blog and take a look at this same thing so that you're reading it along with me, go ahead and do that now. I'll take another sip of my chai. All right. So this is chapter 2, the soul signature of the twin flame. There is no other blueprint that can replicate the special soul signature of the twin flame. A clairvoyant, and anyone who can see or scan energy, that's you, you're someone, you can see and scan energy or you feel like you can't by the end of this series, you will definitely be able to, is able to view this special makeup. Two souls made up of their accompanying I am presences, higher selves, and lower astral bodies exist. The two souls that make up the twin flame are both encapsulated in their own special oversoul that makes up the twin flame's soul signature. There are connections made at the belly button chakra that bond the two together in an everlasting connection. This chakra bond is never severed until the two souls that make up the twin flame return to source. This can only occur after the souls reach a very advanced state of consciousness. This special bond held by the twin flames is both a sacred contract and a gift from God. No other bond will ever be as strong. And I do want to show you, I tried to do my best to, where did it go? I'm going to show it on YouTube. On the podcast, it's part of the thumbnail, and it's also part of the blog post, like what this looks like. So to me, this is like the heavens or whatever. And then we've got the divine masculine and the divine feminine kind of oversoul demonstrated by this auric field and this kind of egg around each one, with with like illumined crown chakras, illumined hearts, and this very special heart connection where the belly button chakra would be. And this is what we're going to scan. So I did do some experiments because when Spirit, I first channeled an automatic drawing of this 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, what is this? I had never seen a drawing before with a connection like belly button to belly button. And I'm like, who is that? I'm getting chills. Oh, so, and Source was saying through the channeling that there's only one type of connection like that. The twin flame connection is, according to Spirit, the only one where you'll see this belly button to belly button connection. Now, I'm collecting questions for us to come back and do some Q&A episodes, and I think one of them I want to jot down. I don't know if I really want to explore it now. You kind of can, but my question would be like, are twins, like twins that are born, you know, of like a mom, like twin siblings, do they have that same belly button to belly button connection? I have not explored that, and I don't really want to go into it right now, but because I don't want to take too much time for that, but I am going to put it on our list of questions. So if you have questions that you want us to explore on a future episode, you need to, you can put them in, if you're in YouTube, you can put them in the comments of this video. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can email them to me. My email address is all the show notes. Same thing with you listening on the podcast. Probably the best way is just to email me rather than submitting all sorts of stuff in different ways, because I think different podcast providers, you can connect with the show in different ways. It's just easiest and more succinct for you to connect, for everybody to send them to me via email or YouTube. I can pick them up easily through the comments. So we're going to do a little exercise now. If you've never scanned energy before, you may be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So we're going to give you some different ways. Spirit's going to give you some different ways, but you can and you will get good at this because, hey, you're a twin flame. No. No. Hey, because you're a soul. No, it's not that you're a twin flame. It's your soul having a physical experience. So everyone, no matter how unsensitive you think you are, like, you know, like, I don't never feel energy. And it's like my teacher, Master Coast, like, I never feel energy. And I'm like, oh, of course he does. He just doesn't understand how he feels it. But totally beside the point. All right, what we're going to try to do is, so I'm digressing, because what I did want to say is I did experiment with this. So I scanned, asking Spirit, you know, I want to scan the energy of my twin flame connection, and I was able to feel this belly button, like what is the main connection point of this twin flame connection? And I was able to feel the belly button chakra connection. And then I took other types of relationships that I'm in. So like, you know, soulmates, like me and my son, how are we connected? Me and, you know, certain friends or whatever, or other types of relationships or past relationships, like past romantic, why am I doing the air quotes for romantic relationships? Past romantic relationships. What was the main chakra connection there? And none of them had the belly button connection, only this twin flame one. So let's try this together first. I'm gonna let you, this is gonna kind of be your homework for this episode, is scanning different types of relationships. What we've done in the past on the show is we've had you scan like your own individual chakras. So kind of like brushing off your hands like you were brushing off crumbs or whatever, and taking your thumbs and kind of pressing them into each of your palms, just to kind of activate the hand chakras. We're going to be scanning with hands first. And if you want to take that experience deeper, Spirit's going to give us a couple of other ways to do that here in just a second. Okay. So let's start off by just getting familiar with how your own energy feels if you're not used to that. You can either use your own body, like you're going to be using your hands, or you can imagine like a little version of yourself, like floating in front of yourself, and you can scan that way. And we're using our hands to feel the energy. So first, what they want you to do is kind of feel like what I call a chi ball or an energy ball. So just playing with energy, like you're bringing your two hands facing each other, and because it's your intent, you are a creator, you're part of source, you have creational energy within you to create with your thoughts, words, actions, and deeds. We don't want to go into too much for this episode, but your words have creational power. That's why it's always like, oh, be careful what you say. Words are spells, but you're saying I'm creating either out loud or in your mind, like I'm creating an energy ball, a chi ball, and you're just with your hands, like feeling the energy between your two palms, like going kind of around it as you create this little chi ball of energy. This is your own personal power that you're kind of subpacting, even a word, it's not compacting. They're saying it's like the semantics sometimes don't matter. Just get this little chi ball, personal power, and you're just kind of gonna get it all mushed together like in a little chi ball, maybe the size of, I don't know, like a little ball or something. And then this is some personal power. This is working with your own personal power. And you're going to take that little chi ball of golden energy and you're going to like put it in your solar plexus chakra, something that you can kind of use, take advantage of. You're just going to mush it. Like if you're listening, it's kind of hard. You're just going to take the little ball and you're going to like place it right into where your solar plexus chakra would be. All right. Now we're going to feel the energy of one of your chakras. So let's just, the heart chakra is usually the easiest to work with. So I'm going to have you take a deep breath. And exhale. Now you're going to take your hands again, kind of out past yourself a little bit, but your palms facing inward towards you. And you're going to say out louder to yourself, like the energy of my heart chakra. And you're going to bring your hands, your palms inward towards themselves until you feel like a pushback of energy. It's almost hard to even show on camera. And everybody's going to be at a different, like yours doesn't have to be, maybe yours is bigger than mine, maybe yours is smaller than mine, doesn't really matter at this point. Just what's that default of the energy of your heart chakra? Just feeling it. Okay, and getting good at feeling energy. And then the same thing, you can do the same thing with any of your chakras, but like you can go up to your crown chakra and you can either put your hands kind of above your head, or if you're using the little version of yourself, you'll just scan your hands inward towards that little baby version of yourself that you see in front of you, and you say the same thing, like the energy of my crown chakra, and you're just scanning in with your hands, because I'm channeling right now. Mine, this thing is really big, but you're just scanning with your hands and getting like a default reading of the energy of your crown chakra. Now, these values are going to change depending on what's going on. If you feel anger towards someone or resentment, any type of unloving feeling, then your crown chakra is going, maybe it is your crown chakra, maybe your crown and your heart chakra. Your chakras are going to shrink. If you're feeling the loving spiritual connection, then your crown chakras are going to expand. So that's just kind of a generic way to look at it right now. If you guys want more shows on doing some of these exercises, let me know and we can do that as well. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you how to scan the energy of this twin flame connection. This works no matter if you know who the person is, no matter if you don't know, if you've never met this person in this lifetime, they're always out there somewhere. We just have already said through the channeled stuff that this connection exists. It's been there since your first separation from source. It's not going anywhere until you ascend back to source. So it's always out there, whether you're aware of it or not. All right. So what you can do is imagine yourself. So the same way we just you put your little self in front of you, like put a little version of yourself in front of you. You can do it that way, or you can just use yourself like you're sitting and imagine your twin flame. You don't have to know what they look like in this lifetime. You just have to feel with your heart the energy of this person that's meant just for you, that source created to be with you through all lifetimes. This powerful quasar connection, because when the two soul energies, soul signatures come together, it is like a very powerful quasar of light. Feel that love. This is like the feeling of the one. What would it feel like to have the one, that unconditional love from another that, in a sense, does complete you? Because I do feel like, even though as a soul, you're learning to be complete in and of yourself. That's part of the journey. It's a very, very big part of the journey. There is also this sense of wholeness, coming home to another when you are connected to this other twin soul and their soul signature. It feels very much like a homecoming, a homecoming of hearts. So now that we're in that mutually receptive state, you're going to use your hands in the same way. And you want to feel the energy. And what you're feeling for this time is you're going to either move your hand. I don't know what side you imagine your twin on. It can be either one. It's whatever resonates with you. Or if you're imagining in front of you yourself as one of the eggs and the twin as the other egg, you're scanning down the middle of that connection. So how we showed you the picture where the belly button chakras had the connection going across, you're scanning from the crown down with your hand until you feel a pushback and asking or seeing or sensing where that connection is. So, just as an example, so like if I scan my son, if I put me and my son together side by side, and I use my hand to come down through the middle of our connection, for that, him and I, we are connected at the heart chakra. And most soulmate relationships are heart chakra based relationships, very loving based. But if I put my twin next to me in this little mini version of ourselves, and I take my hand, I do the same thing we did to scan energy, and I go down, down, down. I feel the pushback right about when my mind's eye hits the belly button area. And you can practice with this. There's other types of relationships that have been more, I don't know, what label do we want me to use, Spirit, for these other types of like teaching relationships? Catalyst. They want me to use the word catalyst. So they don't want me to really use karmic partner because they're saying that's not really valid. These catalyst relationships, which are teaching relationships that you have where you learn a lot of soul lessons, where a soul contract has been made, where this other person will come in and trigger you and teach you a lot about learning about all the things you don't necessarily want in a partner. When I scan those types of relationships, I usually get the connection happening at the sacral chakra. So it's more of like a physical, magnetic connection. And keep in mind, well, you may not keep in mind because you may not know, but Spirit's creating these connections on our behalf, right? So this is the part where it's like, well, take what resonates, leave what doesn't feel right to you. But when these soul contracts were formed, before you ever incarnated into this physical form, agreements were made about who was going to come down, what souls were going to come down, and what types of relationships were going to be formed, and what lessons were going to be learned. And based on that whole divine blueprint, Spirit helps create these chakra connections. So, and they can create them and they can remove them. That's when relationships start and relationships end, right? So for these catalysts, these more physically attracted magnetic types of relationships where it can be very disconcerting, like, this feels like my one. Well, it's several things. One, there's this very magnetic pull towards each other because you're supposed to come together and learn all these lessons together. But at the same time, there's parts of it that like don't feel exactly right. So that's where the confusion can come in about, is this my twin? Is this not my twin? I've seen a lot of people get really confused. So if you use this, remember the knowledge is power. If you use the scanning, you will know what type of relationship this is. And the interesting thing about these two is you can pick and choose the types of learning relationships you want to have to some extent. So maybe you're at a point in your life where you've got all these choices of all these like potential partners coming through, and all of them feel kind of right, and you're a little confused. You can actually scan the size of their chakras this other soul, and you can try to find one that aligns most with where you're at now. So let's say we did like the heart scan, and your heart is at a certain point, and then someone comes along and Spirit's offering you this catalyst relationship, and you're like, do I do it? Do I not? You can scan the chakra, the heart chakra of the other individual, and if it's way much smaller than yours, then to me that's kind of like, nah, that just doesn't really align with me. There's going to be like that's more trouble than it's worth. But if the heart is pretty much aligned in size to yours, then I feel that is a good symbiosis and a good, so it may not be your twin, but Spirit's not offering you your twin at that point. Spirit's offering you a catalyst relationship so you can learn and grow, but they're giving you some options and you can pick and choose which one would be more closely aligned to you so you can have this kind of learning relationship with this person. But you get the option to maybe choose one that's most closely aligned to you by using your knowledge as power to scan their chakras and not getting yourself maybe involved with somebody who's going to be way too much like drama or whatever. Like there's going to be drama anyway, right? There could be drama anyway in these catalyst relationships. So you can pick, and just because you dismiss one, as soon as you dismiss one, like that option is not for me, Spirit's gonna right on its tails send you another one to as an option. But at some point you do have to take the journey, so you can't just be scanning and scanning and scanning and be like, I'm not going to take any of these. Some point some relationship will come along. If you're on the twin flame journey, you have to have these catalyst relationships before you can align and come into reunion with your twin. All right. So I feel like we're going to draw a few cards for us now, and I thought we would go into waves, but I'll just give you a preview of what we're going to talk about next. I think I did already post a little bit of this to the blog if you're reading. But this is the next thing we're going to focus on is where are you on the journey? And Spirit is going to give us some clarity about the different waves of the twin flame journey and give you a definitive idea about how far along you are in the process of alchemizing yourself to align to the energies of the twin monad. And we're going to introduce that along with the very first wave, which is wave 1, which is probably many of you who are just starting out on the twin flame journey. So that is what's coming up in our next episode. Right now, let's just get a couple of cards for Spirit. What do you want us to know? What's going on with your twin flame connection right now? That's what they want us to do with this Psychic Heart of the Tarot. So if you also have this deck, if you didn't hear the last episode, I went to Hay House and this deck was on sale, I think, for $12. So it's very reasonably priced. If you want to get a copy and pull the cards as we're pulling cards, have yourself ready to do that now so you can get your own super personalized messages. But what's going on with your connection? This is for the collective that's listening or watching this, no matter when you're listening or watching this, or how or where or what's going on right now. What's the overarching message happening for your connection right now? We got the third eye chakra. So I think what's happening here, so a lot, and the other thing to take into account is as you're starting this journey with me and whoever else you might interact with about twin flames, your twin is also doing the same thing. And in this case, the third eye chakra, it's like your eyes, your third eye, your inner eye, your sacred vision is being opened up to the fact of what this all really is about. And I did say, because I know I have I have twin flames in all 3 waves listening and watching this. Wave 3 is kind of like you're the closest to union that you're going to be right now. And some of you are actually going to step into reunion, meaning you'll meet your twin in this lifetime. And some of you could carry on with wave 3. We're not going to go into that right now, but everybody is learning something new based on this connection that you and I and all of us are having right now. And so even my advanced practitioners, you're getting information that you may not have had access to before, been able to have seen before, or just, we call it Twin Flames 2.0 because I think Spirit is giving us some new information that we didn't previously have access to. to empower all of us to make informed, empowered, motivated decisions about your own journey and your own path, right? So it seems like more options and choices are being opened up to you or to all of us at this point, and that's why the third eye chakra is getting activated for the connection. And let's just pull from Forest of the Wolf. Any advice for the twins watching this? What I think would be really cool is if I think it would be so cool. I'm getting big chills too if like you're watching me and then unbeknownst to you, your twin is also watching me. Like we're part of the same circle and we're doing all the work together, but you don't know that you kind of like don't know that they're here. I think we're going to get I think Spirit is going to arrange some twin flame connections to come into reunion as part of this circle, this TLC for the soul family, this Twin Flames 2.0. Because nothing happens by chance, you guys. Spirit is going to orchestrate these connections to come together in whatever fun, fanciful way they so desire, based on what's most kind of meaningful to you. And so I think on the thing that, we said, like, we want this to be fun and lively and all that, I think Spirit is going to inject a little magic. Yeah, they're giving me chills. Inject a little magic into our group and start bringing twin flames together to do the work, all of us together, but you guys don't necessarily know that they're here yet. And at some point, you guys are going to be guided to connect with each other. Wow, that's super cool. All right, because what did we get? Okay, this is the card that we got. If you're watching, it's one of the lone wolf cards. So the advice, again, the wolf side. Okay, this is the advice. I'm reading the card. Again, the wolf side. Beloved human, beloved soul in physical form, you are being led through the darkness. You don't have to do anything. Surrender now. So surrender to the journey. Spirit has got you in their back pocket. Back pocket sounds so 70s. Spirit's got you in their back pocket, like a comb or something. And we are all here together doing this work. So I want to thank you so much for joining me, for having fun with me, for connecting in. Next time I see you, we will be chatting about wave 1, the different waves of the journey. And again, if you have any questions, I'm collecting questions for Spirit for an upcoming Q&A. Send those in to me. And if I see you again soon, I'll see you again soon somewhere, right? I'm over on Instagram. I do daily reels over there, almost daily reels over there. Loveland Tarot, and join us over on TLC for the Soul if you'd like some more advanced teaching. So again, thank you all so much for joining me here. We will see you all again soon. Take care.